I'm pretty much done with Forest River. And let me tell you why. Second weekend of deer hunting season in Texas. And as I've probably said in previous videos, the reason I bought this trailer was to bring it to the deer camp and have, you know, a fairly comfortable place to stay. Out here on my 175 acres of land that I lease, I do not own it, I lease it, because there's no facilities out here. There's no water well, there's no electricity, there's no septic system, there's nothing. It's total boondocking out here, which quite frankly, I find kind of fun. I find it fun to be out here and be completely off grid, bring generators, bring solar panels like this, bring my gazelle tent, set that up, my gazebo. But the reason I got this was to camp here during hunting season, which is November, December, and the first 2 or 3 weeks in January every year in Texas. It's just been a huge disappointment because this is a 2022 model, and this is November of 2024 when I'm recording this. And I'm about to clean this whole thing up and take it back into the shop for the second time to get the slide room repaired. So I'll take you through a brief walkthrough and show you what is wrong with it. It's the same thing wrong with it that was wrong with it last time, really. So I bought this in March of 2022. You can see how it's pulling out of the wall right there. See how it's dipped down right there? It's almost touching the floor. It won't even slide out right now at all. I've been sleeping with it for the last 2 weeks. I haven't been here every day for the last 2 weeks, but for the last 2 weeks that I've been hunting off and on, I've been sleeping with it just on the bed here with the slide room in because it won't pull out. I was at a ham radio show in Huntsville, Alabama in August of this year, and we got there, we got set up, and I tried to push the slide room out, and it wouldn't go out. It just completely almost stranded me without a place to sleep. Of course, my bed was fine. This bed doesn't move in the slide room, so I was fine. But Frank was sleeping. My buddy Frank was sleeping there. Had to fold the table up, no big deal. But I mean, you know how angled it is and whatnot. And then my other friend Mike was going to sleep there. He ended up sleeping in his car because he brought his car camping stuff anyway. So it worked out for him okay. But we couldn't access the bathroom and the shower, and it was just a big nightmare. So after that, I contacted Forest River, and I'm like, hey, I need to bring this thing back in again because this was already fixed by the place I bought it. I bought it in March, took it back to them in August of 2022, that same year. Like 5 months later, they had it till Thanksgiving fixing the slide room. But and it lasted for about a year. You know, you can tell the motor's too weak on it because it's a Schwintek motor. I don't know if you can see this or not, but yeah, you can't even see it right now because it's slidden in. I think you can see it from the inside, actually. Hold on. So I was talking to a couple friends who are RV owners, and they're like, no, that's too small. Yeah, see, this is a Schwintek type system here. I don't know if you can see that in the dark. Right there. This is a Schwintek type system, and I'm told I need some sort of like, I forget what it's called, some kind of screwdriver system. But instead of this one, this slide room itself is too large for this type of mechanism. At least that's what I've been told. And it makes sense because when you slide this thing out, even when it was working, you could tell it was struggling. It was just like you had to kind of fiddle with the switch to get it to go out evenly. It would kind of like the back would go out and the front would go out and the back would go out and the front. It wouldn't go out evenly. It was kind of a pain to get done, but you could always get it done up until August. So once I got home from that trip, this last August 2024, I contacted Forest River. Now I have an extended warranty, and for the most part, they've been pretty easy to deal with. I've got an email contact from Forest River, and I email him and I tell him what's going on. He's like, okay, do this. He's like, okay, I'll check on this. Okay, do this. And they're pretty responsive, so I got to give them props for that. This trailer they built is a complete joke, but their warranty department has been fairly pleasant to work with. So I contacted them, told them what was going on. I told them to give me a list of vendors. Now, this time last year, the slide room was starting to fail again. he gave me a list of authorized repair centers for Forest River, and I called one of them here in Fort Worth. I believe it was United RV. I don't remember if I called them or emailed them, but I did I think I called them at first, then I started trading emails with them. You could tell they didn't want to do it. At least that was the impression I got. They wanted me to bring it in and leave it with them for about 4 to 5 weeks before they would even look at it. And then they said, once we look at it, we'll get you an estimate of wait time for ordering parts. Wait time. Been there for a month. And I'm like, why don't you just tell me when you can look at it and I'll bring it to you then or the day before that? He goes, no, that's not how it works. We don't do it like that because if we can get it in early, which no RV repair center ever gets anything in early. I'm sorry, that just doesn't happen. Not this day and age. So he's like, no, you got to bring it in now, leave it here, wait till we get to it, at least a month. He goes, so he ended the email with, it's going to be here a while. And I said, yeah, it's just not acceptable. Sorry, this has already been repaired one time, not by them, but by a Forest River authorized repair center. And I said, I'm not leaving my trailer with you for 2 to 3 months again, because I left it with the first place that long. And he comes back with some sob story about how, well, you didn't buy it from us, and we didn't repair it the first time. I'm like, I don't really give a flying rat's ass who did or didn't repair it. It's a Forest River problem, and Forest River told me to call you, but obviously that was a mistake. No thank you, goodbye. So I will not be dealing with United RV I think they're in Haltom City or Fort Worth, somewhere down there. Won't be dealing with them anymore, like ever, probably. I found them kind of rude. It wasn't their fault. They didn't do the repair. I didn't buy it from them. They were right about that. But if that's going to be their customer service, then screw them. So I called a couple of mobile repair centers. I decided to just wait till after deer season. I called a couple of mobile repair centers around February, March, had them come out and look at it. One guy who I've used before in the past, which a really good RV repair facility, mobile RV repair facility, is called RV Medic in the Fort Worth, Texas area. I think he'll go into Dallas County and Wise County and whatnot. I don't know. He's based out of Tarrant County, I believe. And RV Medic, he did a really good job on a previous trailer I had. So I called him. He went through it. He's like, it's going to cost this. I'll do this write-up. And he says they work with Forest River Warranty Department. Great. So he wrote it all up and sent it to Forest River. What? She wrapped herself around a tree. I keep her on the leash because she'll run off, which I don't really mind her running off necessarily, but she won't come back when I call her if she doesn't want to. Sometimes she will, but usually not. Anyway, she's my hunting mascot, though. So RV Medic filled out all this paperwork, sent it to Forest River. Forest River said, no, that's too much. We can't pay you that much. He's like, it's a 10-hour job, and this guy at RV Medic, he's like, dude, there's no way you can do that in 10 hours. He's like, it's at least a 15 to 20-hour job. And they're talking about completely rebuilding the slide room in here. Or maybe they wanted to pay him for 5 hours and he said it was a 10-hour job. I don't remember the exact numbers, but basically, Forest River said it should take you this long, and he's like, no, it's going to take way long. It's going to take twice that long. So they didn't want to pay him the hourly rate that they charge on a normal customer, and I didn't blame him. He's like, man, if you want to pay the difference, I was like, no, I'm not paying the difference because I've already paid for the extended warranty, and this has been a big pain in the butt. I'm not paying for this. So that was month and a half of wasted time between getting him out, getting him to look at it, filing the paperwork, having Forest River come back and go back and forth with him on email. Took a month and a half. I found another authorized Forest River repair facility called Fort Worth Trailer Supply, I think. And they came out and looked at it and said basically the same thing, but they submitted to Forest River and they were on Forest River's approval list or something. I don't know. So they got everything approved. Now that took another few weeks. They came and then they had to order parts, and that we had to wait a month or two to get parts in. So they got the parts in, scheduled a repair. They came out to the house. I came out here, got it, took it home, took it to the house, and they worked on it for like maybe an hour. And they said, this slide room is jacked. And I'm like, yep, I kind of already knew that. And this was after August. So yeah, so from basically October of 2023 until August of 2024, where it failed in Huntsville, permanently failed, like it won't slide out anymore at all. Until now, I'll let a few weeks go by here and there and wait to hear from people. It's not like I'm working on it every day, but it's been a year that I've been trying to get this thing fixed. And Fort Worth Trailer Supply, they're like, well, they can't get underneath the slide room because it's dropped down so far. they're like, you're going to have someone come in from the outside of the slide room, take all the paneling off and rebuild the motor from that way. And he's like, we're not willing to do that in the field. You need someone with a shop to do that. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Okay. All right. So I contacted Forest River, told them all that. They're like, well, I'll see if I can get you in someplace quickly, which they never were able to do. I called another place in Fort Worth area called Funtown RV, and they wanted me to wait 6 weeks to get an appointment. And I had to do that because it wasn't their fault. Now, they wanted me to wait 6 weeks, but they said just bring it in on this day. You know, the first place wanted me to drop it off and wait 6 weeks for them to hold it where I didn't have access to it. This place said, we'll have a chance to look at it 6 weeks from now on this date, bring it in on this date. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. There's a difference there. So tomorrow is when that 6 week date is up. This is the middle of November. The slide room's been malfunctioning malfunctioning for the second time, basically since October of 2023. When I take it in to Funtown RV this week, I don't know how long they'll have it. Now, the good news is that Fort Worth Trailer Supply ordered all the parts, and we waited several weeks for those. They've got all the parts in, and they're going to take the parts and give them to Funtown RV. So we shouldn't have to wait for parts again, hopefully, unless there's something else needed that they didn't order. I don't know. However long they have it, which hopefully won't be that long if they have all the parts they need. However long they have it, as soon as I get this thing back, it's getting traded in. I'm done with this thing. It's a poor design. The slide room is too big for the motor it's on. It's giving me nothing but trouble. And it's just not a very well-made trailer at all. Forest River was probably good back in the day, but I guess when COVID hit and they started slapping stuff together real fast, their just quality went way, way downhill. I've been doing some research and finding some other people that have had similar, not the same, but similar issues to what I'm having. And there's a lot of trailer companies out there right now that are actually building trailers in the correct way. And I've got 2 or 3 models I'm looking at right now and gonna go that route. So this thing's on its way out. As soon as I get it fixed, I want to trade it in because I want the slide room to be in tip-top condition when I trade it in. I don't even want to use the thing. I want to get rid of it, trade it in, and that's all. So this might be the last video I ever shoot with that specific trailer. I'll let you know what I get next time, and we'll see where we go from there. Anyway, thanks for listening to my rant today, guys. Appreciate it. And thanks for watching the channel.